Yo, what's going on? Good morning, friends. Welcome back, YouTube. Hey, how's everybody doing? Might have some double sound here. I don't like that. How about that? Gonna go to the station and see what's going on here. Ooh, sound. Got sound. Nice. All right. So, what's going on? I hope your day was great. I hope your trading day was very safe. And it was kind of one-sided for a while, and then she just kind of fizzled off.
CD, please.
Yes. And so from the update last night, we were looking at this bullish order block here on the weekly chart on the left-hand side here. We had closed above the down close candle after wiping out a lot of people in the market. Pretty wild. I like that it just happened very quickly and got it over with. You know, those that short and they're like, oh, I like shorting because they're really quick and to the point. Yeah, that's when they show up. That's when they show up. If you go to the daily chart here, top right, how many shorts were like that? Not many, right? And out of all these candles just on the screen, how many more were green or up close versus down close? When you're in an uptrend, you don't want to fight it. So this morning we were able to find the low and reprice into pay the trader or target one. Then we were grading this candle here just to see where we were gonna close for the day, and we've closed in a very, very strong fashion. So what you guys would call like support and resistance, that red line there, that's exactly beautiful. The cherry on top is that it closed up in this upper quadrant here above the blue line, but I would have just permitted that. But seeing as how it's up so high, that's what I'm really into. So because it's taken out this swing high here, I'm going to project that there's going to be a fair value gap. And if there isn't, that's going to cause a little bit more concern. But if there's a fair value gap in here, and I'm just going to project the next one. It's a little game I like to play. See if I can project the next gap based on the tools that I've been given. And yeah, all those people out there that know about fair value gaps, Google it. Show me where it says how to do that. Oh, so target one acquired. That's beautiful. And this is where I'm going to be seeking a bottom tomorrow. It doesn't have to be here. I'm going to allow for some flexibility. And I'll zoom into that in a moment. So this was one of the targets for the week. Running out the all-time high, making a higher high in the trend. Typically when this happens, if it's going to run for something, if you go look at an uptrend, once it breaks the previous higher high, it's typically really fun. So it looks like there's a lot of fun coming. So it's going to be very wise to run time stops 2, 3, 4 p.m., whatever works for you. But if you're in that AM kill zone and you happen to capture the low of the session or the low of the day, depending on what profile, hold your trades. Don't worry about the fluctuations. If you don't have a trailing stop in your account and you're kind of beyond that point, or maybe you're in a live account, just hold your trade. Hold it till the end of the day. Because if you would have held to the end of the day and you were in on the low of the day running a time stop, remember that candle closes at 5 p.m. every day and doesn't miss. And did you really have to be worried about the minor fluctuations of all the intraday volatility? No. And I don't think that was the low of New York. I think that was London maybe, right? We'll go into that in a minute. But yeah, just moving forward, when we get these big giant green honker candles and you've closed here and you might go, oh, well, I could have held till here. If you don't have a trailing stop, just hold. Because that's pretty neat stuff. So taking all these levels and, we closed up here. We're above some things. We've got a reclaimed order block. If I was to say that price was going to break into my projected fair value gap, I would say that it would come to here, but I wouldn't want it to travel any more than that. I definitely want to see this open. Okay, so taking that into the 15-minute chart, and tonight the Asian range and the flout is going to be very telling. So get your studies on. Plop a midnight. So this is my open for the day. So that was this level here, right? Where the open of the candle was right here. So the price point in which it grabbed was already repriced to Sunday evening. And then it started to trend. It made the model here. It made the little bull flaggy, stopped it out, hit the discount, and then repriced higher. It happens. So what you can do is, and everybody should have had the new week opening gap on their chart. That's not. What's the open is 65. Yeah, everybody should have had that on their chart. So when you've already repriced to something that you would have wanted to see and it's trending, I just want you to notice that when we came back down into the new week opening gap for the New York AM session, notice how it left the double bottom above an upper quadrant and consequent encroachment. It slams down and it immediately finds sensitivity. Somebody was asking me, what do you mean by sensitivity? There is a monster move in a direction. That's sensitivity. And you don't have to question it when it's there. But it makes the bullish order block a little bit ahead of schedule this morning. Okay. Granted, it was being kind of, ruthless in its time delivery today. Just ahead of schedule is like right on schedule, 7 to 11 a.m. There's the model and away she went. So you'll notice my first execution was on this candle as it was repricing violently the other direction. It felt like I was chasing a little bit, but I was just really running to the previous day high with that trade. And then in the 5-minute, there's a recording on my Twitter of me grabbing this candle as it was repricing back above the down close candle here. It just happened to want to give it another touch and then finally gave it up for me. So that was the 2 shots today. And so that was pretty sweet. But just look at that profile though. What I do is if the higher time frame discount array has been repriced to, and that's the weekly bullish order block, and price is showing a willingness to leave, this could have been another array. This could have been a fair value gap. Then I will get in sync with order flow. I will notice the profile. I will consider what happened before that. But see how I'm using midnight here as my open? Just ignoring everything that happened there. So it did come down first. It's below what I considered the open. And, you know, I was only waking up here, and as I was waking up, it was already ready to move off of the breaker and our unicorn fair value gap. So interested to see your order flow charts for the day. Don't forget to send them in. So moving forward, I think the bottom's in, and that's will be target 2 for October. And so I'll be aiming for $25,812 even. So with a bullish bias and the idea that if it's going to make a higher high in a macro trend, that it's going to be really violent and want to reach there really quick. Lots of people are calling it over. You can see it across the board. Everybody's calling it over. You got to understand, and I'll leave you with this. Nobody can call tops. That's not a thing. It's never been a thing. Nobody can do it. If they did it once, they got lucky. That's it. Calling tops is not a thing. And those people out there that are trying to call tops and call tops of market cycles and stuff like that, these people are intermediate level chart readers. They're just saying things that they think sound smart. And then you're looking at the mass amount of people that just blindly adopt what these people say. Just take it for face value and then regurgitate it. That's where you get the crowd. Those are the people that we're cannibalizing constantly. That double top right there, here, it did reverse price. It did. It made a double top. It did like 1,000,000 to 1 R. And then what? You know, people will play a double top. They'll play it a 3 to 1 R, 5 to 1 R, risk versus reward, right? And then it's priced in. But they'll be like, oh, double tops reverse price. That's such a beginner thing to say. For how long? Till when? How many risk versus reward were you getting? What was your entry technique? What is your rules-based system for playing a double top? You see, the crowd thinks that double tops reverse price for good. And it's never coming back. And then the books tell you to put your stops right there. Now, you can call that a lucky guess, but this candle here that stopped dead in its tracks before there, this has made them sweat. And if Bitcoin reprices higher, I'll give you this one for free. If Bitcoin reprices higher in between this hour, these people who are short will be open wrecked because we'll have a new day opening gap to the upside, or what you guys call the CME gap. And that's my open wrecked model. So like, and if it doesn't, there's another scenario that plays out that I love. This is my favorite. And we did this with Ethereum. If you go to my ETH updates, this is how I did it with ETH right here. It falls shy of taking everybody out who chased that short. Because selling pressure, trust me, bro, right? If it reprices away from here into this price point that I would like, that will make because everybody's sweating right now. They're feeling really they're feeling the heat. But if it reprices lower, they'll think, oh yes, the sellers came in and saved me because this is where they came in before. That's their logic. The violent move in the other direction is typically so ruthless that this is where computers get broken and hedge funds get fired. So we'll call that. And we did this exact same thing with Ethereum. Hedge funds fired here. And that's what we'll call that. Okay, so that's the thesis. So if I'm looking at this on a daily chart and I'm expecting a higher high in the trend, is it really that far-fetched that we could make it here? Just looking at this high here. Okay, this one was kind of lazy, granted, comes down, reprices up. It's so over. Trust me, bro. Trump sucks, blah, blah, blah. Wham! See how much higher of a high it made than that high? And it just kept going. And everybody was like, it's over, it's over, it's over. I told you it was over. It's over, it's over, it's over. That's the cycle of how the rookies play the game. So that's what we're doing. We're counter trading them. And they're calling it over. You know, shout out to Crypto Lifer for his wicked bottom call. That was pretty sweet. Swing low in a discount after taking liquidity, just forgetting selling pressure, not ignoring all of his bullish models, and finding his thing and just destroying it. Beautiful, beautiful. Lots of liquidity up here, bro. Beautiful. Yeah, I hope you guys have fun and have a nice, safe trading day tomorrow. You can see that, you know, we'll get another 4-hour candle here, and then we'll have another gap, and, you know, that might change. So we'll see what happens by midnight tonight. God bless you all. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you when we hit my targets. Peace out.